My name is Jacinta Gange and I'm a funeral celebrant. I'm honoured to be given the privilege of conducting a funeral service for a special man, Harold George Smith. A man who's now sadly gone from our everyday lives, but whose spark, verve and joy for life live on through his family and will never be far away. Welcome. I thank you on the behalf of the family for your presence and support today. It is so clear from your numbers and that the man you have come here to grieve and honour has touched very many people, and for many, it's touched them deeply. This is among the hardest times in the life of the Smith family. But this week, we've shared many laughs, many fond moments, many special memories of their dad and granddad. And the man I've come to know through them has undoubtedly lived and loved to the fullest extent. And from that, they all, and we all, have a wonderful legacy to remember him with. Harry's family, his daughter Tempest, his 3 sons, Adrian, Christian and Eric, and his 4 grandsons, Zale, Dylan, Kai and Fletcher, thank you deeply for your attendance and the honour that you're paying him today. Harold George Smith. Harry, Smithy, Harold, Dad, Mr. S, Uncle H. So many fond names for a man who was a boy, a man, a husband, father, family guide, grandfather, and finally a friend to many, many people. Anyone who knew Harold George Smith even a little knows that he's now left his world exactly as he would have wanted. Harry died suddenly, a heart attack while he was fishing with his mate Franco. Sunday, June 20 was a clear day on the bay. Harry had a fishing rod in his hand and his best mate Franco by his side, who reports the fish had indeed been on the bite. It's hard to imagine a more perfect scene. Harry was at peace, at one with the ocean he loved, and with a good friend with whom he'd shared many of life's bumps. There's a beautiful saying from Henry Thoreau. It says that many men go fishing all of their lives without knowing that it's not fish that they're after. Harold George Smith knew exactly what it was he was after on each meticulously planned trip to the bay. It was that moment, that oneness with nature, that healing and re-energising, the peace that he inevitably found on the water, sharing some quiet times with a mate. Harry's daughter Tempest shares with us a poem that captures the essence of that sentiment. Remember Me by Margaret Mead. Thank you, Tempest. Remember me, to the living I am gone, to the sorrowful I will never return, to the angry I was cheated, but to the happy I'm at peace, and to the faithful I've never left. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand upon a shore, gazing at the beautiful sea, remember me. As you look in awe at a mighty forest in its grand majesty, remember me. As you look upon a flower and admire its simplicity, remember me. Remember me in your heart, your thoughts, your memories of the times we loved, the times we cried, the times we fought, the times we laughed. For if you always think of me, I'll never be gone. Thank you, Tempest. Please take a moment to hear one of Harry's favourite songs, as we all take a moment to reflect a little on our memories of this special man. Time to say goodbye. Sarah Brightman and Andrea Bocelli. I'd like to welcome at this time Harry's sons, Adrian, Christian and Eric, who will tell us a little about the life of Harry. We've heard all about the life of Harry, husband, father, companion and friend, but what about the man? What were the qualities that so distinguished him from others? For the family, his values were simple: love, loyalty and compassion. Love of family came first. He learned it from the experience, as we have heard. Loyalty ran parallel to love and in many ways overlapped it. Compassion was a force that grew with him as he matured and aged. He wasn't a religious man, but his feeling for anyone undergoing disadvantage of any sort was, in a sense, his own religion. I would ask you now to pause for quiet reflection on Harry's life in pictures. collated by his family and friends. Family and friends of Harry, please stand as we approach the end of this farewell. You've gathered here today in mourning, in grief and in loss. We have the opportunity to share moments of Harry's life, the gifts he brought to his family and extraordinary circle of friends, his love of learning and sharing and life. As we farewell this man of the world from the world, let us recall his gifts, his sense of fun, his love of life, his enthusiasm and his humour. We're grateful for the life that has been lived and for all that life has meant to each and every one of us. We'll now proceed to the Melbourne Central Cemetery for our final farewell to Harry. The family also welcomes you to join them at the chapel rooms at the cemetery afterwards for refreshments. Thank you for your attendance today.